Chongqing at last, nerve center of China at war. A city built on the cliffs and hills at the juncture of the Jialing and Yangtze rivers. Easy to locate from the air, easy to bomb. A city which bears what may be a prophetic name, for Chongqing means happy again. Now legend says 300 steps lead up to Chongqing, so I counted them. There were actually 340. Perhaps I should have carried the pony. The people of Chongqing have been subjected to relentless air raids. But the big raid, the raid Japanese militarists have vowed would blast Chongqing from the face of the earth, that raid is yet to come. Meanwhile, amid the debris which testifies to the ferocity of previous attacks, life goes on. Flaming war posters are everywhere, proclaiming the people's will to continued resistance, the bravery of China's fighting men. Chongqing is a city both old and new, a combination of the East and the West. Modern structures, public utilities, automobiles. The marble building on the left is the Bank of Sichuan. You will not recognize it the next time you see it. This is the Bank of Communications. A post office truck, part of a postal system that is 3,000 years old. The United States gunboat guards the approach to the United States Embassy, which stands on the hilltop on the south bank of the Yangtze. The embassy is kept drenched with water, a primitive form of air conditioning. The staff of the embassy, the man giving me a light, is the former United States ambassador to China, Nelson Trusler Johnson. The Tutuila is a sister ship of the ill-fated Panay, destroyed by Japanese bombers in the early days of the war. The American publisher Roy Howard comes to visit the ambassador. The United States Navy maintains its own truck service. Trips are made regularly up and down the Burma Road, bringing supplies to the Tutuila. And cliffs provide Chongqing with a perfect site for air raid shelters, and quite literally, the city is dug in for the duration. Day and night, laborers are busy building new dugouts, enlarging old ones, making all more livable, more comfortable, more secure for whatever lies ahead. Two-thirds of its original population have been evacuated, but enough men, women, and children remain to make it a military objective for bombing planes. But if it's a miracle that's saving China, here truly is an awe-inspiring part of it. Steel mills, whole industries that were literally moved thousands of miles by the sheer stubborn will of men to whom nothing was impossible. There are three phases of China's resistance which might be termed guerrilla or mobile unit strategy. As in warfare, so in industry, China's factories have become mobile units. Blasted out of their industrial cities on the coast and in the Yangtze Valley, 90% of their factories destroyed or taken over by the invaders, the Chinese move more than 130,000 tons of factory equipment, carried on the backs of men or hauled in junks up the swiftly flowing Yangtze. Whole factories were reassembled 1,000, 1,500 miles into the west and are in operation today. Just another secret of China's resistance. Once in a while, even a bomb crater can be turned to a good purpose. A bit muddy, perhaps, but cool, wet, and fun. Hey, fellas, come on in. optimism to build a new China. On a dusty road. 200 miles to the northwest in Chengdu, there is to be found another part of the miracle, the spirit of a people for whom nothing that happens today can stop the building of tomorrow. On the campus of West China Union University in Chengdu, there is being written a new kind of story that has to do with the courage, faith, and vision of the young people of China, the students at the great universities on the seaboard when the war started. Japan well knew that only a leaderless nation remains a conquered nation. So in the first fury of the invasion, 80% of Chinese colleges were bombed in a deliberate attempt to kill the young men and women who would be leaders and teachers in the new China and to destroy their centers of learning. Then began the greatest intellectual migration in history. Whole student bodies picked up their books and equipment and started their epic trek hundreds of miles into China's interior. Here at Chengdu, girls from Jinling and thousands of other students are training both mind and body for the important work that lies ahead. Sports of every type are evidence of the modern spirit of these young people. But above all, the relentless search for knowledge goes on. For knowledge means freedom. And these young Chinese have dedicated their lives to a free China. Refugees make soft-soled shoes in a cooperative workshop. Certainly here is a most important part of New China. For this is true democracy. It's help yourself by helping your neighbor. It's a new hope for hundreds of thousands of refugees. And far from the east, it's a tremendous source of things China needs to care for itself and to keep out the invader. Indusco, they call it, the industrial cooperative. And since the movement began in the summer of 1938, more than 3,000 of these vest pocket industries have been scattered throughout the interior of China, each owned and managed by the workers themselves. Many religions. Processions like these are typical, priests and nuns ceremoniously threading their way through the streets. Taoist monks in their resplendent robes. Taoism is the earliest of the Chinese religions, older even than those of Buddha and Confucius. Its ancient philosophy prizes culture and the achievements of the spirit above material possessions. Rich black earth, fed by the oldest irrigation system known to man, produces a bumper crop. Everywhere I went, I spoke to the people. These farmers far in the interior told of machine gunnings of their tiny villages. Yes, the meaning of invasion has been brought home to them. They made it clear and emphatic. They want no peace without victory.